Hi guys, I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. The hardest part, I think, for victims, target survivors to get their head around is, well, the absolute traits, characteristics, and insanity of a cluster B character, a psychopath, sociopath, narcissist, borderline personality disordered individual. I mean, their thinking is so corrupted, so manic, so far removed from, kind of a human reality that we all share, that it's almost impossible for empaths, earth angels, truth tellers, way showers, enlightened, critically thinking individuals to get their head around any of this. I mean, just looking at it can actually, and many times I felt like I had a fucking concussion, like my brain exploded, ringing in my ears, seeing little spots, just trying to get my head, like almost dizzying, where I had to grab onto something to stabilize myself because the actions I was seeing, the words I was hearing were just so unlike anything I'd heard or seen before. I couldn't get my head around it. And it's a very, very difficult situation to come to terms with and understand. So what the hell does this swamp creature want? I mean, why are we targeted? Why are we selected as potential victims? Well, first and foremost, always, the narcissist, if you're being attacked by someone, understand that first and foremost, they see you as a superior being. They see you as someone better than them. And always remember that, because they really want to diminish us. And that's the motivation for their deep, deep desire. And do not underestimate their desire to diminish you. They have identified you as someone who is better than them. And they don't like people being better than them. So they're going to want to absolutely diminish you, reduce you to rubble. That is their goal. And I saw that in my relationship with Trevor. I see that now in my current crazy stalker witch thing. I don't even know what the hell's going on there. Absolute insanity. But you just see the same patterns over and over again. They are so true to the agenda, and the agenda is very real. So first and foremost, you have been identified in their minds as someone who is better than them. You're a superior human being, and now their sole focus and desire becomes crushing, diminishing, ruining you, destroying you, and they will stop at nothing, absolutely nothing. They are powered by this deep-seated envy, insanity, and I mean this frail, shame-based ego. I know, sounds crazy, right? I mean, you think about all the things that you can invest your time and energy in, but no, you're just like a dead and empty, part human, part demon, mentally ill thing that truly feeds off the suffering of others. Now think about that. Holy shit. Like, why? Come on, why? It's almost impossible to get your head around, like it really is. And, I can say, hey, you got to really accept this. And people, early in my research would say, you need to accept this. Accept what? Like, what do you mean? They're soul-eating vampires. I mean, yeah, and that's what it was at the end. I absolutely have come to conclude that the madness, the insanity that's just bouncing around, in their empty skulls it's just not for us to truly understand, but to accept and say, yeah, like, I don't get it. I don't want that in my fucking life, but it's real, and they are gravely, gravely affected by it, and they really need to hurt people to feel whole. It's all they have. I think understanding and acceptance should be separated a bit, because, it is really hard to understand this. Now, I'll tell you, with this new stalker, this person has left over 1,400 messages, 1,400 messages and comments between YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Honest to God, it absolutely tanked and crashed my inbox here at YouTube. And, I find the humor in that. I mean, wow. Go team crazy, right? Like, I wonder, like, are they sleeping? Are they eating? Like, just powered by madness? Like, go nuts, knock yourself out, and fuck you while you're at it, you know? Like, whatever. But I don't understand that at all. I can't even get my head around what would motivate, you know, an middle-aged woman to behave that way in a public forum. Like, who humiliates their self like that? Narcissists exposing themselves. I mean, let them run amok. You don't need to understand why they're doing it. You just need to accept, hey, fucking batshit crazy. And, you know, okay, I can accept that and move on. You know, just, you only carry that baggage, you know, something like that if you want to, you know, drop it. Poof. Ugh. Shit splatter. I mean, what can you do anyways? Just laugh and carry on. Oh yeah, it's hard to understand that with so many wonderful things to do in life, so many potential creative projects, so many relationships that can be nurtured and fostered. I mean, just so many things that we can do to occupy our time. You know, it's really hard to understand that there's a group of absolute demons, I mean, the craziest amongst us, who are actively plotting evil, who love this, who flourish in this environment, who get all, you know, frenzied and darting around and committing their evil acts, you know, to feed their dead, empty souls. It truly, like flesh-eating zombies, like blood-sucking vampires, exactly like this, motivated in the same way, you know, the zombies are in a zombie movie. I mean, it's basically the same thing. And no, I don't understand it, but I can accept it, and I can say, hey, fucking line's drawn here, you know, keep your crazy over there, and don't let it impact your life, and just, you know, brush it off, knowing that they're nuts. Like, they're just fucking nuts, and they're sad, and they're sick, and they're desperate, and they're lonely, and they're underachievers, and they're, in many cases, unemployable. And, you know, I got a email recently from a friend here at Kim Wilson TV. Her partner was a lawyer. Well, he had been wearing the mask for a long time and thinking he was, you know, big Mr. Shit Show, until they took away his license to practice law. You know, everybody figures it out over time. Like, people figure it out. They're truly exposing themselves. So, you know, you don't have to understand it, but just accept these are really, really sick people, and they really not just want to harm you, but they need to harm you. Like you need, pardon me, like you need food and water. Many friends here at Kim Wilson TV have expressed a real sadness when they see that the narc in their life, male and female, of course, have moved on very quickly to their next victim. And this is very painful to them. And many times people have wondered, you know, do they love the new victim? God, no. Absolutely no. But their need for narcissistic supply is so severe. And the need for narcissistic supply really increases when a narcissistic injury has been inflicted. And if you've left them, if you've moved on with your life, be assured this has inflicted some very grave narcissistic injury on them. If you've told them, hey, piss off, you little pest, it really inflicts such grave injury that it ignites in them like this death fight, this fight to the finish that only they are involved in. And, you know, oh, God, it's all real, you know. And the thing is, they're all the exact same. It's like a common thread links them all in every nation, no matter what language is coming out of their mouth. It's the exact same insanity and dogma. I mean, it's the exact same. They're all the exact same. So they're very, very predictable in their behavior. And we know that they're locked on. So just let them spin out, let them expose themselves, and try and keep yourself safe and not get sucked into that whole matrix of madness. Remember always, you're dealing with someone who's mentally ill, someone who is an absolute chronic, habitual, pathological liar. They are manipulative, they are cunning, they are liars, they are thieves. They are absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. And they will expose themselves in time. But remember that at the core of who they are, they need to harm people to feed their dead souls. Honestly, this is what puts us in such danger with these people, because their need for human souls, their need to see people injured by their, what they consider to be very justifiable and clever actions, you know, I mean, the mind of the mentally ill, right? You know, you have to protect yourself from that. And if you are still stuck with the narc, be very careful exposing them in a really up close and personal kind of way, because, well, we've all seen, you know, how dangerous and volatile they can really be, and how they have no brakes. They'll just absolutely powered by madness, absolute sheer insanity, and just driven by it. So be very careful when exposing them, you know, in a one-on-one sort of basis there, because that can be very vulnerable situation for you. But, you know, in the back of your mind, if you remember, like if you're being hoovered right now and you're thinking, oh, maybe I'll give them another chance, or if you're missing them, just remember, for God's sakes, they truly need victims. They need victims desperately, and this will never end for them. They only get worse with age, and that's for a few reasons. One is they become so much more desperate, you know. They can't use their sexuality anymore. They're lost, you know, some of the ways that they get victims. So, you know, they become desperate, and they've also really honed their skill. Like, they've been doing it all their lives. The narcissist's evil and their attempts to harm victims or to stalk people or target people because they're envious of them or see them as better people than them, it always backfires on them. You know, we're really dealing with some really serious keyboard cowards here and absolute human trash. So, you know, if you really see it for what it is and think this person is mentally ill, potentially demonically possessed, completely corrupted in their thinking, void of real human emotions and human connection, I mean, basically, what are we dealing with here? A fucking zombie. And cutting yourself loose from that zombie and going no contact from that zombie, I think, does get easier with acceptance. Now, I've been no contact 7 months now. And I'm absolutely thrilled. You know, couldn't be going better. I mean, certainly it takes time to get your life back on track, but, you know, I feel like I'm taking the right steps to do that. And I know so many of you guys are. And, you know, for those of you still trapped and stuck, you know, we're rooting for you. And it's wonderful kind of watching. And over the months that we've all been here together, we've watched many people get free. And I think that's really inspirational. I think it, you know, shows a lot of bravery and a lot of perseverance. You know, people have been beaten to shit and they're still willing to get back up and walk away from it. And that's tremendously inspirational. You know, early on, Trevor smear campaigns against me really did hurt a lot. But, you know, I did over time realize that they were confessions, absolutely were confessions. And, you know, this is where I'm really finding the humor in this most recent maniac is confessions. That's all it is. And I think it helps us to put a really good shield up to that sort of abuse and say, you know what? I know what you are. You just confessed. Thank you for confirming my thoughts about you. Guys, I'm Kim. This is Kim Wilson TV. I wish you guys well. Really coming to just accept the fact that this person isn't getting any better. You can't love them well. You can't friend them well. There is nothing more that you can do. Get out, save yourself, and go on to live a normal, happy, sane life, surrounded by people that really love you because you're special. Take care, guys.